Welcome to Beyond the Press Release, a production of Agoracom, in which we take the time to speak with small cap executives right after they put out important news. With us today, happy to have him for the first time, Chris Hazelton, President and CEO of Universal PropTech, trades on the TSXV Venture Exchange under the stock symbol UPI. For those of you new to the story, and it's going to be almost all of you, as the name implies, PropTech is a combination of two words, stands for property technology. As simple as that is, the implementation importance of PropTech is anything but. Whereas most companies are just now trying to capitalize on the opportunities presented in the current and massive future of PropTech, because the numbers are out there, it's going to be huge. Universal PropTech is actually delivering healthy building solutions and services for developers, owners, and operators. More than just lip service, they've got the numbers to back it up. Over $35 million in revenues in the last 3 years. Used by the federal government facilities for over 40 years. Some of their other clients include Canada Post, University of Toronto, Manulife, Brookfield, National Gallery of Canada, on and on. So these guys are delivering. Here to talk about is Chris. Welcome to the show.
Thank you for having me.
Hey, great to have you. Congratulations on the company you guys have built and are building. The press release we're talking about today, if you don't mind, I'm going to read the headline. Universal PropTech announces signing of Canadian distribution agreement with Fresh-Aire UV to help combat SARS-CoV in schools, colleges, universities, government facilities, and seniors' homes. Before we get into the specifics of that press release, so many Me Too companies are trying to capitalize on COVID-19 as a buzzword. You're obviously not, because you have the track record. But for everyone that's new, what makes UPI so suited to deliver versus its competitors?
I mean, one thing that we do is we've spent an incredible amount of time looking at a number of technologies across different ranges and across the globe. And we spend a significant amount of time, determining what we want to propose to our customers as trusted advisors. So a significant amount of work and due diligence has gone into the process, and we feel comfortable working with Fresh-Aire UV. They have some pretty innovative products, and the other important thing is they have a shorter lead time than most other competitors that have this sort of a similar product out in the market.
Yeah, and they're a great company, because I see here that they've won numerous industry awards, including the 2011, 2020 AHR Innovation Award. So you truly have done your due diligence.
Absolutely.
Um, let's talk about some of your clients, and then I want to get into the specifics about the press release. You've got some great long-term clients. I mean, very well recognized name. How are you guys able to do it? And how are you guys able to maintain those clients given the competitive landscape out there?
Well, the underlying business, VCI Controls, has been in existence for over 40 years, and the roots and the origins of the company were in Ottawa with the federal government, particularly in building automation. And we have our innovative solutions in those facilities and have become trusted advisors to our clients, and they continue to work with us over a great number of years.
What I like about some of the client role that I read off earlier is that it provides tremendous third-party validation, which Agoracom viewers and small cap investors know everywhere. That's very important to us, because of course you're Chris Hazelton, you're CEO of the company. You're supposed to be highly optimistic, idealistic, and look forward and say you've got the makings of a great company. But that client role and others, that's not your complete client role, I think is great validation of what you guys do. I'm assuming that helps you guys win business, Chris. George Com goes into a developer and says, I can give you a healthier, smarter building versus UPI. It's got to be a real business advantage for you.
Well, 100%. I mean, when we look at our current customers that we serve and can show and demonstrate to other customers who we work for, and demonstrate that these people have relied upon us for a long period of time, that does open up doors for us for sure.
So let's go on to Fresh-Aire UV. I find this very interesting. So I'm going to read the quote from you in the press release. Fresh-Aire UV Solutions allows to deliver a highly integrated HVAC package. So you're in the heating, ventilation, air conditioning, to fit those schools, college, universities, government facilities, and seniors' homes immediately. enable us to remain our customers' trusted advisor. So let's talk about this solution specifically, because there are a lot of solutions out there that people are talking about for detecting and treating COVID inside of buildings. Talk to us about this UV solution, how it works.
Well, one thing, particularly with regards to UV in comparison to a number of other technologies that people are presenting, and I sort of relate what other people are doing to the Wild West and unproven technologies. This is a proven technology, demonstrated for a long period of time, accepted by ASHRAE, and it's something that the market and in particular our customers are demanding a high quality product to be put into their facilities or into their buildings.
And how does it work, Chris? Is it somehow I'm picturing UV and the HVAC system, but if you can kind of give us a visual as to how your solution actually works.
For particular, and we're obviously looking at other ones. These are in HVAC systems that treat the air as it passes through. It satisfies a particular portion of the market with regards to treating HVAC and treating air and COVID-19. But there's also other solutions that we're looking at too that are in the room because the market's diversified between facilities and buildings that have mechanical ventilations and ones that don't. So it's necessary to have this for our customers who are demanding it now.
Yeah, so there are some customers who want a solution from the HVAC level, and customers that are looking for other solutions. So
100%.
So as air flows through the HVAC system, I guess it's being exposed to Fresh-Aire's UV, some kind of UV lighting that
Correct.
kills bacteria, virus, and so on and so forth.
Exactly.
That's amazing. But it's if I didn't know that was proven and Fresh-Aire was an award winner, you'd almost treat that with skepticism. But from your due diligence, just how good is that, specifically with COVID, because that's what everyone's thinking about right now.
Yeah, 100%.
How well does it work?
I mean, it does treat the air 99.9%. The one thing that when we do partner with different technologies is that we've had it proven and tested, and that we can rely upon it, and the people who we work with and install it can rely upon that as being something that works.
So let's talk about commercialization on this. So that's great. You've got the agreement for Canada. I'm assuming, is that an exclusive agreement for Canada, or is it just an agreement for Canada, but it's open to others?
It's an agreement to Canada, but we have the opportunity with our client base and some of the other things that we are working on to really ramp it up. And that's why Fresh-Aire UV chose us to be a partner and also to press release that they are working with us.
Yeah, and that's the difference between GeorgeCom talking to Fresh-Aire UV and GeorgeCom PropTech versus Universal PropTech. You guys have that. You've obviously given Fresh-Aire the comfort they need to know that a really great partner is gonna put this in front of some really great clients. So let's talk about that part of commercialization. Is it ready to go now? Are you already demonstrating this to clients? And if so, what kind of early feedback are you getting?
It's ready to go. We're putting a package together for our clients. Have ordered product, and we'll be getting that out the door shortly.
All right, that's great to know. Unlike new technology or perhaps unproven technology, this is proven, ready to go. So you can show it to your clients and say, here it is. Here's a track record.
100%.
Just a yes or no. It's just a yes or no at that point. Is there a segment of the market that you're more optimistic than others? For example, education, schools. That's obviously a massive market, but sometimes they don't have the budget. B, there aren't a lot of kids in school right now. But on the flip side, I would assume, and you correct me if I'm wrong, that commercial buildings are the ones that really have an incentive and see an immediate ROI. They've got incentive, they got the budget, and they can see the ROI. So am I right in that maybe that's your primary, or maybe I'm wrong about my assumptions? And who do you guys see this as your primary?
I think that, in the past, maybe schools and different government facilities didn't have the budget, but there's been a significant amount of commitment by the federal provincial and municipal governments to fund the schools and different facilities and long-term care facilities to implement these systems. So the money is there, the opportunity is there. They have no choice to make sure that people are when they're in these environments are safe. A lot of focus has been with regards to vaccines and testing of pulling us out of the pandemic, but this pandemic has really put a focus on indoor air quality and what's necessary to make sure that when we're in these spaces where we congregate, that the places are safe to enter. Right?
I'm glad you brought vaccines, because a lot of people were thinking that vaccine was going to be a panacea and and everything will be solved. But it seems like people are happy with the vaccine. When I mean people, I mean business, enterprise. They're happy about the vaccine coming out, but they're not going to rely on that because they want to take extra steps to really make sure they can tell their customers, visitors, that their buildings are safe. So I'm assuming the vaccine hasn't really slowed down the potential rollout of this.
No, not at all. I mean, I think the pandemic has really focused us on looking at how and we go to work and where we congregate. And I think that with regards to that, I think there's going to be a really long tail with increasing air quality, and it will be in how we design and build our buildings going forward in the future. But
Right.
really, people are really looking at what they have now, and I believe in all the funds that have been committed across the various governments, never mind the private sector, up until now, they really haven't really understood what they need to do, or if they need to do anything at all, and to get
Right.
people back out and have the economy running, and people back into those buildings on commercial space. The investments have to be made, and that's a massive, massive spend across all sectors.
Yeah, and I was going to ask you, do you have a sense of market size for this? But really, I don't know if you can calculate it. It's just gigantic, because it's a paradigm shift. What I'm hearing, Chris, and correct me if I'm wrong, is we're about to witness a paradigm shift in how we secure air quality in buildings of all, from universities to commercial buildings and education, so on and so forth, because everybody now realizes, hey, if another pandemic hits us a year from now, 10 years from now, we can't go through this again. We need to have the right solutions in place to make sure when it does happen, and unfortunately it's going to, that they're ready. Is that what you're hearing as well?
100%, and there has to be an offensive on COVID-19 in a number of ways. But with the vaccine and testing, I still think that it's going to have a long tail. It will be with us for a long period of time, and it has to be addressed. Right.
Yeah, I agree. I agree. That's why, I think building owners, and I know some building owners, building developers, they're saying, look, they're building this into their costs. They're gonna allocate budget toward it, but they also see an ROI, right? They all see an ROI to it, that the better safety measures they can provide and solutions their business, the more likely they are to attract new tenants, people visiting their building. So I think it's a win-win for everybody. So we'll come back to that when it sounds like, you're going to be commercially rolling out Fresh-Aire in Canada. So I'm sure we're going to have you back talking about hopefully some contract wins and so on and so forth next couple of months. Let's switch over to you for a second. You took over as CEO in the past year. What's your vision for the company going forward beyond just securing buildings for clean air and healthy air? Because obviously your business was a big business before this all happened. So where do you see the future of smart buildings, healthy buildings?
Well, I mean, the one thing about the company is they've been, for the most part, status quo, and happy to rely upon the long-standing relationships and customers we've built over a number of 40 years. My job and my interest is to ignite growth within the company, And that is, a couple of points I would want to make on that is bringing in new technologies and new prop tech ideas that we can, show our customers that we can provide, a valuable added service and, grow our wallet size with our current customers, but also attract other customers. And part of that growth, in the past, the company really hasn't focused on sales. So I'm focused on sales, and the most important thing is to attract the talent and leadership within the organization to help drive the organization. We have a great base business that can be built upon and with trusted, as a trusted advisors. And that's key, is bringing people in who can help add to the business and who are leaders in the industry. And we've created an advisory board with some very talented people on that can help. We recently added a chief growth officer, and that started the ball rolling with regards to, having UPI and VCI recognized, and bringing those people in that can help us, supercharge our strategic direction.
It's funny that you say the company hasn't been really focused on sales, and yet they've done about rounding about $35 million in revenue the last 3 years. So if that's what they're able to achieve without a real focus on sales, I can only imagine what's going to happen next couple of years with you really focusing on it, bringing a chief growth officer and making the change you're making. So Chris, thanks for joining us today, and congratulations on the agreement with Fresh-Aire UV. Look forward to seeing where that takes the company this year, but more importantly, looking forward to see what kind of growth is going to be coming under your leadership.
Well, absolutely. I mean, listen, I can tell you that that's our focus, creating value for the shareholders, increasing business. We're having a lot of interesting discussions, and I expect 2021 to be a very exciting year. Stay tuned.
You heard it straight from Chris. You've been watching or you've been listening by podcast on Google, Apple, Spotify, your favorite platform, to Chris Hazelton, President and CEO of Universal PropTech, trades on the TSX Venture Exchange under the stock symbol UPI. Look, we know that smart buildings, healthy buildings, all of this is new to a lot of people. So to start your due diligence, get to Agoracom, go straight to the profile page of UPI, and we've got this neatly laid out for you in really understandable terms, so you really understand the breadth of this company up until now and where it's going. And then, of course, from there, you can also link over to the UPI website, do that, do your due diligence. Hopefully you discover your next great small cap prop tech company. Thanks for joining us. Have a great day. See you next time.